Now regarding this whole PhD thing, that's sort of like, the pet project of the professors who support Lai Ching-te, and they are doing a really good job of it, and they are doing the right thing. Now I've looked into the fake PhD case myself, and I compared everything that those group of professors put out and what the presidential offices put out, and it's very clear to me that the professors have a much stronger case than the presidential office. The presidential office and Tsai Ing-wen do not have enough evidence to support this notion that she has a PhD from the London School of Economics. There should be way more legitimate evidence with signatures on these certificates and stuff like that dated back to 1984. They don't have any of that. They have like photocopies of like documents which we can't be sure are real or not. And there's absolutely no reason for her to make anything classified until 2049. Her teaching records or her so-called finished dissertation, which she never brought out, there's no reason to classify any of that if her degree was legitimate. So she's basically using reverse logic saying, oh yeah, I have a certificate here with a stamp, with a watermark stamp from London School of Economics that doesn't look anything like my so-called 1984 diploma, and therefore if you have that, then you must have a thesis, and therefore you must have advisors, external examiners who looked at it and stuff like that. So there's the fact that she can't like come up with a finished dissertation and she can't tell you who the examiners are, that's all an indication that she's basically been lying this whole time, okay? Ever since 1983, when she came back from London as a failed PhD candidate or someone who never got into the PhD program, what she basically did is she forged some documents and started teaching as a professor from LSE in 1983, and that's why she has to seal her documents from those universities starting in 1983. If a sitting president can't prove that their educational background is real, then they don't have credibility. She should be forced to step down immediately simply because she sealed those documents. She has no grounds to seal what should be public documents. If you claim you have a PhD, your dissertation, your external examiners, all that should be public. There's no issue of privacy. There's no issue of like, oh no, I can't let anyone see this because this is my privacy. If she can't bring it out, if Taiwan was a real democracy, she should be out. She should be out based on just the PhD alone, the fake PhD alone. Everything's being framed as the people who are questioning that she doesn't have this PhD don't have enough evidence. Like, you don't have evidence. You're just like raising a ruckus on your YouTube show, and it's just like the government's turning things around on us and saying that these people on YouTube are like creating trouble and they don't have enough evidence. The truth is that it's Tsai Ing-wen that has to prove she has a PhD. And if she can't prove that, then she needs to step down from office. It's not the job of the people on the outside to gather evidence to prove she doesn't have a PhD. It was like this with the 319 case. The government is being questioned that they faked the shooting incident, okay? So they have to prove that they didn't fake the shooting incident. And the evidence that they provided, if you looked at it carefully, did not suggest that a real shooting incident took place, but instead they said, oh no, you opposition people, you people who are questioning the shooting incident don't have evidence to prove that the incident was staged. No, it's you guys don't have the evidence to prove that this shooting incident was real. That's what the DPP does. They turn things around on you and they bully you into submission. Okay, this has been going on since 2004. Since 2019, the same thing has been going on, you know, where they're just going, you don't have evidence, so you can't say anything. And what's really happening is they don't have evidence to support their claim that this is a real PhD. They don't have evidence that the 319 shooting incident, so-called shooting incident, was real. The physical evidence back then suggests that it was staged. Okay, it doesn't match up. There's no blood in his underwear. They have a windshield that's been hit from the inside out. With this PhD thing, it's like Tsai Ing-wen's like kryptonite. She's just basically like, she's gonna have to deal with it for the rest of her life as long as she's president, and it's just gonna keep going on. And unless something changes in the UK, my guess is that this is just going to continue. Which is great for the YouTubers that are bringing attention to it. They just have a topic that they can just continue talking about forever. She's had sufficient time to prove that her PhD is real, and she wasn't able to do it in 2019. She shouldn't even have been a candidate in the 2020 January 11th election because it's illegal to fake your educational background and run for public office in Taiwan. But the Central Election Commission, because she has full control of it, like let it go, and they just said, oh no, her degree is real. Her degree is definitely not real, and this conspiracy to cover it up has spread into the London School of Economics, the University of London, the Information Commissioner Office, and it's making the UK look really god-awful. Like the country UK, which so many people around the world have so much respect for their like empire and all the systems that they've set up, just like making Britain look like really bad. Just like this country has no credibility. It's not just the London School of Economics and the University of London. These universities represent the nation. And then when a part of the UK government, the Information Commissioner Office, comes out and just like makes all these excuses saying, oh yeah, maybe that was like lost in the library or whatever, like her thesis must have gotten lost during restructuring or whatever, saying these kinds of things just like looks really bad. And then using the whole privacy excuse to say, oh, we don't have to tell you who those examiners are, like her privacy is more important than that. You know, like, get out of here, okay? There's no privacy involved with external examiners. All that stuff is supposed to be public. Shocked but not surprised that they would do that, because my understanding of the UK and their media is that they're extremely anti-China. You know, like BBC and a lot of their international media that reports on China is just like they have like a very set agenda on making China look bad. So it makes sense to me that other parts of the UK, their education system and their, you know, parts of their government would want to support a president in Taiwan who was supposedly democratically elected and covering up her fake PhD.
Many people suggest that the turnaround in your fortunes is because of the actions of China. Do you think you have the Chinese President Xi Jinping to thank for this victory?
But there's so much evidence out there, and it's so obvious that they're lying, that, in my opinion, they just really shot themselves in the foot. You know, and they've really brought down the image of the entire nation with them. It's just like, the UK is a dishonest Western nation. Like, they don't tell the truth. Their laws don't work. If you ask the Information Commissioner Office for information, they're gonna say, no, we don't have to give you that information, even if you use the Freedom of Information Act. Oh, you're not a UK citizen, we don't have to tell you. All the stuff that they're doing, that they're saying, it just looks like terrible. If the UK just wants to keep going down this path, then fine, you know, we'll just continue making you guys look bad. I don't know, I feel like the whole UK cover-up of Tsai Ing-wen's fake PhD thing sort of represents a decline in the Western nations to begin with. Like, if the Western nations really had like the moral high ground over authoritarian one-party dictatorship China, they would tell the truth, right? They wouldn't like lie like outright like that.